Hello, everybody. My name is Max, and welcome back to the official Line Ball Pool channel. Today, we are going through the award show for the Vanguard Invitational, the very first ever Line Ball Pool tournament. So, I just wanted to firstly start by saying thank you so much for tuning in for the last few months of content. We started back in September, we're now at Christmas. It has flown by. And we even recorded the tournament all the way back in August. So there are some aspects of it that it's a very long time ago now, but we are very excited to finally bring to you the highlights in this award show format. Once again, the Line Ball Pool tournament is sponsored by Rubbish Snooker, as you can see above, and we played the tournament at Cousins Lounge in Canterbury. And I wanted to say a huge thank you to Simran and Matt for their amazing commentary work throughout the tournament, really bringing the tournament to life. So throughout the video, we're going to go through 9 different categories, and then at the end, we're going to spend some time going through what's going to be coming in 2024 for the Line Ball channel. There is a lot to be excited about. So let's jump in to the first awards. So if I can work out how to make it work, there we go. That always helps. We're starting firstly with category 1, which is the best name and logo. All of the 6 teams that took part are nominated here. So Maximum Impact, the Red Hot Chili Potters, Lineaid, Daddy's Clackers, Alice, and the Wet Bandits. 6 very different brands, very different logos, and quite unique styles, all up for the awards here. So let's move through and find out who the winner was for best team and logo. And the winner, by a huge margin, is indeed Daddy's Clackers. And there you can see the team of John and Anki. They absolutely smashed it. Brilliant design. I know Anki did the logo for this, and the name was a combined effort, so the team really bringing it together for a brilliant logo. And then special shout outs to Lineaid and the Chili Potters for also really nice creative designs as well. But everyone had a really nice creative design. It's just Daddy's Clackers was far and away the best. So next, we're moving on to the best commentary moment. So there are lots of really great shouts. So in the semi-final, Simran's soft boy John moment when John was hitting some less than powerful shots that were required during the semi-finals. So go and watch semi-finals between the Wet Bandits and Daddy's Clackers if you want to see that moment. Next is just Matt calling out Simran for not being interested or excited about Line Ball. There was a bit towards the sort of start of the knockout stages where we had a few tired recording sessions, just lots of stuff going on. So it did kind of leave the commentary at times. You know, we just needed a bit of time to gather our thoughts, gather ourselves, and some really funny moments between Matt and Simran there. Those moments just ran throughout. Then the great roast of Lineaid in Game 1. If you remember all the way back to the first match, Lineaid had a less than ideal start. Now, if you've seen the tournament, you know how much they grow into it as the games go on. It was a tough one at first. So the roast of Lineaid, the commentators really went in on them, but it made sense. They needed it. They needed to be humbled at the start, and then they really grew as players as they went on, and it was so exciting to see their journey. The next is Max's tattoo origin story. So for some reason, throughout all of the commentary, one running theme through everything has been that I'm getting line ball tattoos. It's a really funny bit, and when I see the guys and girls in person, we talk about it quite a lot on what I would actually get. But I've not got any tattoos at all. So if you've got any more line ball Max tattoos, then throw them in the comments. You never know, I might end up getting a line ball tattoo. And yes, the last one, both commentators calling the Red Hot Chili Potters the Red Hot Chili Peppers multiple times. And I know they kept calling each other out for it as well, which is even funnier because it was both of them that were doing it. So the winner for category number 2, the best commentary moment, is my tattoos. Of course it was. It was a landslide win. It's the running theme. It's the beating heart of every episode of Line Ball. And if there's ever a spot where Matt and Simran didn't know what to say, one of them would just say a funny quote and the other would say that was my tattoo. So as you can see, you've got Simran and Matt here as well, looking wonderful alongside me too. So And I just again wanted to take the opportunity to thank them for just the sheer amount of hours we all put into bringing this to life, but specifically them for the commentary. It was a lot of Lion Ball to watch through, so we had a great time doing it. But they absolutely smashed it, didn't they? Next, we're moving on to the award for the most clutch player. So this is the person who, when the pressure and the intensity got there, they really pulled through and shined. So the nominees are Aditya Singh, Chris Hope, Anki Dams, Shana Brooker, and Hoi Yin Lai, all for various different reasons and different points throughout the game. All of these players underwent very serious moments where if the game turned against them, then they were in a really tough spot. But if they pulled it out of the bag, they could really win it for their team. So let's find out who was the most clutch player. And it was Anki Dams. By a very small margin, I must say. Everyone did really well in this category. But Anki Dams was the most clutch player of the tournament. Some of those shots around the semi-finals were really, really brilliant, as well as the end of the group stage to get his team across the line. There were some really tough moments in there. And then Chris played really well, specifically in the final when the Maximum Impact team, we really went behind and Chris made some very clutch shots to get us back in there. And Hoi, that semi-final appearance from Hoi was enough to get him the nomination on his own. And then a big shout out to Aditya and Shana of Team Alice, who had that amazing run right at the end of the group stage. Serious pressure, and especially also in that 4th and 5th place playoff, they just kept fighting. So that's why all of those were nominated. But Anki Dams was your most clutch player. Okay, next we're moving into the best first time player. So there was a handful of players who played at this tournament who had not played line ball before. And so the nominees are those 5 players: Hoi Yin Lai, Brandon Ethel, Jonathan Barrett, Timmy Greenfield, and Byron Rosa had all never played line ball before the tournament. All the other players had had a chance to give it a go, whereas these players, they had a bit of chance to practice on the day. They knew the rules, they'd seen line ball videos, they've played pool generally, some of them, but none of them had played specifically line ball itself, and in this environment, and on camera too. So these are our band of new players, and we'll find out right now who was the best of the new players. It was convincingly Hoi Yin Lai with his brilliant performance for the Wet Bandits, getting all the way to the final. Didn't they do well? And big shout outs to Byron, his teammate as well, getting some good votes, as well as John Barrett as well, bringing through for the Daddy's Clackers. All of those 3 new players there made it through to the semi-finals and had a really good run. So strong showing from the new players. Now we're going on to the category for the best attacking player. Attack was a bit of a subject that was lacking in this tournament. I think it was just a bit due to nerves. I think when it's the first tournament and everyone's playing in front of the camera, you play differently than when you're off camera. When the cameras are off and you're just having a bit of fun playing line ball amongst yourselves, you go for those attacking shots. But when the camera's on and losing a point means losing the game or throwing it for your teammate, then the attack shots definitely went down. For the next tournament we're doing, there will be a much bigger emphasis on attack shots, and I promise you that. But for now, we did still have some players who brought out some really nice attack shots, and so the nominees, Alex Elwood, Anki Dams, myself, Chris, and Shana as well. And the winner for best attacking player is myself and Shana. We both got the same amount of votes. We tied as the 2 most attacking players of the tournament, and I think it makes sense. I've played quite a lot of attack shots in there. I've obviously played a lot of line ball, so it does make sense. And Shana really brought some nice attack shots, especially towards the end of the group stage, that really pulled her teammates through. So fantastic showing from Shana and myself to really bring our teams up with those attacking plays. High risk, high reward. And also Alex from Lion I know he did quite a lot as well. So a great mix between us of attack shots. And don't worry, next tournament there will be so much more of that. So next we go on to the best defensive players of the tournament. There were some players who really focused on that defensive game, and I remember in certain team dynamics they almost, instead of having a flexible approach, had one player that was more attacking and one who was more defensive. So the nominees for best defensive play are Sam Adams, John Barrett, Arda Islami, Byron Rosa, and Aditya Singh. These were the most defensive players. Some of the stats really show it as well. If you've not already seen the statistic videos for the group stage, go back and watch those, and you'll get an even deeper dive into how all the individual players did. These were some of the key defensive players of the tournament, and the winner for best defensive player was a three-way tie. So Byron, John, and Ardit all tied for the best defensive player. And I think that this is quite, it makes a lot of sense to me because everyone played very good defence in the tournament. And so it was very difficult to separate people. In fact, it was very difficult for this category for me to put up nominees because we did have some very good players that did miss out as well. But I think Ardit, Byron and John, they did play some of the best defensive shots, and it shows with everyone voting for them. So well done, guys. It's a good award to win, and you kept your teams in the games with those nice defensive shots. Next, on to the biggest tournament shock. There were some real surprise moments in this tournament. Let's go through them and analyse. Alice, 2-1 down they were, and they came back to beat Daddy's Clackers to get out of the group stage. If they lost, they were going home. If they got 2 wins in a row, they were through to the knockouts. An amazing game. Go back and watch it. It's game 15 on the channel. Easily one of the most, like the greatest highlights for what makes line ball so entertaining is in that game. So go back and watch it. It was great fun. The next biggest shock, John Barrett's. So this goes back to Simran's commentary moment, the soft boy John moment, where he hits a shot far too light and it eliminates Daddy's Clackers from the semi-final. Also to note specifically about that one, the Daddy's Clackers team were 2 points ahead and threw a big lead. And with that last shot from John, it just cemented throwing away their space that they could have had in the final. Next we have Chris Hope doing something we never really saw in the tournament. He did multiple 3-ball swings in the final. So that is where, in terms of line ball, say if we were on a 3-3 draw, and then in one shot you managed to make it 4-1. You've swung the point differential by 3 in your team's favour. It was really rare to see that at the tournament. And generally it's really rare to see it in line ball when you've got players playing that nice defensive game. And Chris, he was the wild card, so he only joined in the knockout phase, and he managed to do it multiple times, which was seriously impressive. And then Byron, this is awards you don't really want to win. So Byron mishit the final shot of the tournament, which gave the win to my team, Maximum Impact. I felt terrible for Byron because he played so well throughout the whole tournament, and just that one little miss at the end cost it. So that moment has to be in there because I was shocked that he mishit the final ball. He looked really calm when he was down on the shot. And the last one is Aditya bringing 2 balls in for Alice in a game from an impossible angle. And this is one of my favourite shots of the whole tournament, and will be highlighted in future videos too. It was a brilliant shot. Shana had miscued a shot, and the ball just kind of rolled in front of one of the others, and then Aditya hits both of them, well, one onto the other, with a lot of power and brings them both down the table. It's a brilliant shot. Easily the best shot for me in the tournament. And so it had to go in there as one of the biggest shots because from the angle, it's almost impossible to bring those both in. And the winner for the biggest tournament shock it's Byron. Unfortunately, I know he's got a nice big smile on his face there, but Byron, with the mishit, was the winner for the biggest shock because no one was expecting it. As I said, he looked really calm when he was down taking the shot, and then suddenly a little skim on the ball, and the whole tournament was over. Now we're going on to the 1-2 watch category. So this is the player we are most excited to see at the next tournament. We have a lot of exciting announcements to share at the end of this video about the next tournament. So in this category, we wanted to highlight who from the player base really was seen as the standout for who will be the one to watch for the next tournament, the one with the most potential, the one who's got something to prove and really make a comeback on, and has been putting in the practice. So we've got nominations for Alex, Ardit, Anki, Hoy, and John, and the winner is Ardit. He played an amazing defensive game along with Alex, and he's really put his practice in. Ardit had a wonderful tournament, and I think the 4th place finish of Line 8 doesn't really show how well they did, how much they practiced, how dedicated they've been to line ball. So we're really excited to see them in the next tournament because they have a lot to prove. They have the ability to rise, and they're definitely a favourite for me for the next tournament because they've put in so much work. And Ardic did play really well in this tournament, and he deserves it to be seen as the one to watch for the next tournament. And we go into the final category. So this is MVP, most valuable player, or just the best player of the tournament. So as you see, we've got the pictures here of the two finalist teams, Maximum Impact and the Wet Bandits, and the nominees are all of the players from the final. So Chris Hope, myself, Hoi Yin Lai, Byron, and Sam. And the winner of the most valuable player, the best player of the Vanguard Invitational, and I think very deservingly for the journey this person went on, it is Hoi Yin Lai. And look at the score as well. He's won it far and away. Now, obviously, there's not a ton of votes on this because we were all voting amongst players and crew who worked on this. And Hoi did tell me he might have voted for himself, so we'll see about that. Hoi, let us know in the comments. Did you vote for yourself for MVP? Because, I don't know, I don't think it would have really changed the score. But I think he's a very deserving MVP for the tournament. And a big shout out to Chris as well, who only came in the knockout phase and then played an absolutely amazing tournament to clutch it up for our team for the win. But Hoi, he was a brand new player, had a bit of a rocky start in the initial games, just finding his footing, and then just turned up the heat. He had some clutch moments, some brilliant shots, great defense and attack. So I think Hoi is a really deserving MVP, best player of the tournament. I'm very excited to see what the Wet Bandits will be doing for the next one. I know the team will be staying together for the next tournament. They finished second in this one, so they've got a lot to prove. Can they step up and take first place at the next tournament, knock my team away, or maybe it'll be a new team coming in? But well done, Hoi. Thank you, everyone. And that concludes the award show segment for this video. So now we're moving into what is coming next on the channel. So we've got some really exciting stuff to share. There is so much happening in the world of line ball pool that we are excited to talk about. So 2024, my first priority is working on the next tournament. As of the time of recording this, as you can see by the picture as well, we have already played the next tournament. So this goes to show just how far in advance I'm working, because in terms of the editing of these videos, it's just me. We haven't got a team. We do all of this stuff for fun, just in our free time. All the stats that everyone's doing as well, it's all for fun. The line ball rack is just being made by a group of people. All of it is just passion. So I'm editing these on my own. We have to work quite far in advance to get the videos to come out at a good point, but the next tournament is already recorded. We've played it. It was amazing. The standard of attacking shots, as I promised you earlier, has gone up and up and up. And the format's very different as well, so it should be exciting in a very, very different way. The format is themed around King of the Hill, so the longer you stay on the hill, the more likely you are to win. And if you stay on the hill for the entire duration of the set of games you need to, you will win the tournament. And the longer you stay on the hill, there are some extra rules that get thrown at you that make it harder for you to stay on the hill. So I'm really excited to share that with you. I haven't started editing it yet, but we're really trying to up the production value. We have multiple angles. We're going to have new commentary, new graphics that should hopefully make it all a bit more seamless, make more sense. The videos are going to be a little bit shorter as well, so they're more digestible. And also we are going to be, as it says on the screen, dropping back to one video per week. Now, the reason I'm planning to do this is just simply because I want to make sure we're bringing quality videos to you. And it's been a lot of effort in my free time to bring line ball to you twice weekly. And what I don't want to do is sacrifice quality, because I'm quite happy with the first tournament and how it went. I'm really proud of everything everyone did, but we want to up the production value, and I don't want to sacrifice quality, and I don't want to rush out videos. So we're going to still be uploading weekly going into 2024 and around the new tournament, but I'm not going to be promising going back to twice a week anytime soon, because I want to try and start using the community tab on YouTube. I want to start using YouTube Shorts. I want to free up any extra time I get around Line Ball to be dedicated to those, to hopefully bring other different audiences in who might not have seen the channel. We had a very successful first YouTube short around Simmeran's voice crack, and then we've had a very successful poll around some just snooker stuff that I'm interested in, asking players about their favourite snooker players, and just seeing what everyone thinks. Has had some really good engagement, so I'm excited to explore more of that, which will boost engagement in those ways too. Because Line Ball at the moment, in its current phase, it's still a hobbyist venture. So I'm just dedicating time to it when I can. So do all the players and all of the people behind the scenes who are helping. I'm just so thankful for the great people who have helped bring Line Ball to life. Next is the School of Line Ball Pool and the rulebook. So in 2024, I want to do a more elaborate rules video that's probably about an hour long, going into every single rule of Line Ball, but also not just the rules, but understanding how to play it truly. I think what really helped with this second tournament compared to the Vanguard Invitational, which you've just watched, is that for the second tournament, we sat down all the players ahead of time and we went over some of the key tactics, and we gave the players some practice time beforehand, which you really get to see. The standard of the second tournament will be way higher than what you just watched in the Vanguard Invitational, which is amazing, because if you enjoyed the first tournament, you will love this next one way more. So for the School of Line Ball Pool, I want to try and bring up the skill gap, I think, because part of why I think my team, Maximum Impact, ended up doing so well is just because it had some of the most Line Ball experience in it. And certainly in the next tournament, everyone brings that extra level of skill because people have had more time in the game. So it should be way more entertaining, way more interesting, way more going on. Next, we're moving on to the stats part 2. So we haven't been able to fit it in before Christmas. We're going to put it in January. Part 2 of the stats of the Vanguard Invitational will be coming out sometime in January, and that video will be up on the channel on one of the Tuesdays in that month. Going over like what we did in the group stage, but for specifically the knockouts, exploring who was the best players in the knockouts, what were they doing that was very successful, and really analysing that in even more detail. And then what we're going to try and do is retrospectively go back to all of those videos and add all the statistics into them as just comments, pinned comments on the bottom of the YouTube videos, so you can understand how players have been doing throughout the tournaments. And hopefully for the second tournament, we'll be able to fill that time in and do it ahead of time so that the graphics are actually in the video. That's a really big goal of mine for the next tournament. I'm not going to promise it, but we're really trying to do that. The next we're going to be talking about is the Line Ball Pool Rack. So you notice in the tournament, we have to set the balls up in a very specific way to play Line Ball. So John from Daddy Slackard, also my dad as well, he is I'm so happy with what he's been able to do around Line Ball. He's been really great supporting me on it, and he has made a 3D printed rack to get the balls in position. We use it in the second tournament, and so we've got a couple videos going behind the scenes of the building of that process. We do actually need to still update it further, so there will be more of a journey to getting the perfect Line Ball pool rack, but that's where we're at, and I'm really excited to share that with you. That's coming very soon, so stay tuned for that in probably January, February time. It might even creep into March a little bit, just because it's not as engaging as a normal Line Ball pool video. And yeah, speaking of just normal Line Ball pool videos, we're going to try and do more exhibition matches. So just Line Ball games where there's no stakes. You'll know that the sort of Pioneer Championship we did at the start of the channel was just games with no stakes where we were just playing for fun. We want to try and do some more of those because we want to still show Line Ball between tournaments, but not in a setting where it is super serious and everything's on the line. Just people having a bit of fun, you know? And in terms of what else you want to see on the channel, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to know what you enjoyed the most, what you think should return that we haven't done as much of, or just new ideas you've had. There's a player, you can see him in the picture, he's second in from the right, a guy called James. He had an amazing idea for some variants of Line Ball we could do in a casual space. So we want to try and explore new things for the new year, so let us know in the comments. Line Ball will be innovating. And just to end my learnings from this tournament, so what have I learned from the Vanguard Invitational? It was very long. The tournament was huge. We played so much line ball. And so for the next tournament, it's a shorter format. It will be taking up less time and should be easier to follow because there will be less stuff to watch. And that it will all just be as entertaining, much faster. Just it's not going to be going over so much time that you struggle to follow it all, because the Vanguard Invitational was a big time sink for me as the creator, the commentators, the players involved as well, playing multiple days of line ball. So the second tournament, it's a 1 day shoot, and it should lead into about sort of 10-12 videos coming up over sort of 2-3 months, which would be really nice. It should be easier to follow, and that's one of the key learnings I've taken away from this. And also the positioning of the camera. I think that was a big thing that me and the team noticed, was the way I have it framed for the Vanguard Invitational is you can't see the players' faces and their reactions to things. So in this new tournament, the camera angle's different. You can see every reaction to everything that's happening, and that really changed the dynamic. It added a level of emotion to it that the Vanguard Invitational is missing, because you can't see us reacting as we're playing. So that was a big miss from me, but it was our first tournament. We were trying things out. We had to see what worked, and now we do for next time. So I just wanted to, once again, I know I've said a bunch of thank yous, but thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you taking the time to be with us in a PowerPoint presentation as well, to go through everything that's happening with the future of line ball, the award ceremony. It's just been an amazing 6 months of line ball content. Thank you for the support, and even thank you for the messages of people just going, what is this? I don't understand. Tell me what this is. Your curiosity to want to learn this weird pool game that I made up years ago is amazing. Thank you to the people who have bumped into us in pubs and gone, what are you playing? And then played a game of line ball with us. And just thank you to the commentators, my family who support this, my friends who get involved in the tournaments, the prize sponsors, so Rubbish Snooker still up there, and just everyone. Your support goes such a long way to making line ball such a special experience for all of us. I hope you all have a great Christmas if you celebrate, and have a wonderful New Year's. There will be a small video on Boxing Day, as that will be a Tuesday, and we'll be going back to uploading every Tuesday at 6 p.m. UK time, so make sure to check that out if you are going to be watching some line ball, instead of spending the time playing with whatever gift you get, or spending time with the family. You can make 5 minutes to come and join us and watch a live ball video, or maybe just watch it on like the 27th or the 28th once your Christmas celebrations are out of the way. But I'm now rambling, so I'm going to wrap up the video here and say thank you, and I look forward to all the big plans we've got for line ball in 2024. Have a great rest of your evening, day, morning, night, wherever you are, whenever you are, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.